My name's John Sagebiel, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my big idea. And I'm going to do it standing next to this, my touchstone, my reminder. This hangs on a wall of my house. If you come over, it's definitely something I will show you. It's an old mechanical clock that was built around 1810, at least according to the craftsman who rebuilt it after it fell off a wall in my parents' house. It's been in our family on my father's side as long as anyone can remember. It still keeps very good time. It only needs winding about every 5 days. We should all be so useful at 200 years old. According to my clock repair expert, it's rather rare. It was most likely made by an apprentice to the great American clock builder Simon Willard in New England. Willard popularized this banjo style of clock, and it was widely copied. What makes this rare is neither its unknown maker nor its style, but the fact that it was made before the US Civil War. The gears are brass and hand cut. The weights to power it are lead, and we think original. Brass was needed for cannon and lead for bullets. Lots of these clocks were melted down for war material. It means to me that this clock was prized by someone. It might have been hidden away for many years so it couldn't be found and melted down. I'm glad somebody thought enough of this to hide it so that we can still look at it and enjoy it and reflect. What I hear when I listen to this clock count time is history. When this clock started working, the United States of America was a mere 34 years old, not even old enough to be elected president according to its own constitution, that wasn't finally ratified until Vermont approved it in 1791, which means the Constitution would have been a mere 19 years old when this clock started counting time. In 1810, when this clock was made, it was legal to own black slaves in the United States, and it was illegal to vote if you happened to have been born female. One element of why this is important today is it reminds us that we should build for the long term, build clocks that last over 200 years, build constitutions that last even longer. At the same time, be willing to tear down institutions that were wrong or destined for the dustbin of history anyway. Slavery and voting restrictions can be put there. So build good things, tear down the bad ones, and know the difference. When this clock started counting time, both the second and third presidents of the United States, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, were alive. They died within hours of each other on the 4th of July in 1826, the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. At the time of Jefferson and Adams' deaths, this clock had been marking time for 16 years. Since then, we fought the Civil War, 2 world wars, and faced many other challenges, both internal and external. And this clock keeps marking time. What's really important in all that, and what has happened while this clock has worked, is that people came together to solve problems. Adams and Jefferson were often political adversaries, but worked together to nurture a young nation, to build a future they would not live to see. Through the challenges like wars and economic depressions this clock has seen, people have always come together to get done whatever was needed to secure that future. Now it's our turn to come together to work for a sustainable future. I have come to believe that the unknown maker who built this clock was an optimist. The reason I believe that is he built it to last. He built it with the belief that there would be a future, that 200 years after its construction, it would still be working as well as the day he started it, and that people much like him would still be around to wind it, care for it, and enjoy it. Like my clocks builder, I too am an optimist. And I'm optimistic about the future. To paraphrase Paul Hawken, if you look at the science of what's happening to our planet and you're not a pessimist, you don't understand the data. But on the other hand, if you look at the people who are doing great things, people coming together to build a better future, if you look at all of that, that strength, that energy, and that goodness, and you're not an optimist, then you don't have a pulse. That's what sustainability is about. It's about people.